1 John 2, verse 22. Who is the liar but the one who denies that Jesus is the Christ? This is the Antichrist, the one who denies the Father and the Son. The Antichrist is a being that is in open opposition with God and His purposes. In a literal sense, we can say he is the enemy of God. However, as established in the Bible, his season and time of manifestation are in the last days. In Christian eschatology, there are several events that are associated with the last days. So many happenings and events ranging from the pouring out of God's Spirit upon all flesh in Joel 2, verse 28, to the emergency of false prophets deceiving many in Matthew. To iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. However, the emergence of the Antichrist seems to be a major event among others. The objective of the Antichrist is to antagonize Christ and his teachings, as his name implies, Antichrist, as well as to substitute himself in place of Christ.
Iniquity shall abound refers to blatant disregard and opposition to the law of God. Evil will be called good, and good will be called evil. This is the kind of lawlessness that characterized Sodom. Look at the sins characterized in the last day in the book of Timothy.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. While we are watching out for these signs, we must be careful not to be part of those doing them. The Bible used the word men. The Bible did not say unbelievers or believers, but the word men was used because it could be anybody. This includes male and female non-believers and believers. This is to let you know that while seeing the signs in the world, you must not be part of those who do them. The Bible has warned us to watch out for these things. Let us do so. Examine yourself. Examine your life.
The effects of the reality of abounding iniquity is even felt in the church, and the love of many will wax cold. There are those who used to burn with holy zeal for the Lord, who were delivered from the mire and muck of the world. But unfortunately, they are wallowing in the mire once again. What this means is that many will no longer carry the passion to serve God as they used to. A lot of frivolities will take the place of God in many people's hearts. The Bible makes us understand that when this begins to happen, the end is near. Check out for this in your own life today and likewise in the life of many around you. What do you see? Is it a pointer to this verse of the Bible? Another sign is, many false prophets will arise. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. Matthew 24, 4-5, 11. It says, Many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. As believers, we need to be aware that deceit is one of the signs of the last days. A lot of people will spring forth calling themselves Christ, which are not. They will perform miracles and act in the manner of Christ.
We need to retrace our steps if we are moving away from the path of salvation. Matthew 24, verses 4 and 5. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Firstly, people will impersonate Jesus. What Jesus said is that people will come claiming they are Jesus, Matthew 24, verse 5. For many people shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. What Jesus is saying here is that many will come to you claiming they are sent by Christ. They will come saying they have news from the Lord for you. What these people will do to you is deceive you and make you fall to their will. There are many people like that in the world now. If you go online and search for different stories of people claiming to be Christ, you will be shocked. We already have people claiming to be Christ himself. There is a documentary on the YouTube channel Vice about a Siberian cult leader that thinks he is Jesus, and he has thousands of people who follow him. You would be surprised at the amount of people who believe he is Jesus. Not only will people claim to be Christ himself, but some will come to you and say they are sent by Christ to you. Look, this is not the time to allow yourself to be deceived. You cannot afford to fall into their deceit. I purposely make this one of the major signs because it is what the devil will use to make people fall flat. Many have fallen from grace because of these people who have claimed to have come in the name of Christ. Many Christians have left the path of Christ to follow the wrong path, to follow doctrines of devils. Different doctrines have crept into the Church of God today through these people claiming they have been sent by Christ. We now have what they call half-truths in the church today, where they mix truth with lies for their own selfish gains. Matthew 24 verse 11, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. We are seeing these signs that Jesus talked about. We are also seeing the signs that the Apostle Paul talked about. This means that the time our Lord Jesus Christ will appear is very close. Are you prepared? If Christ comes now, will you reign with him? These signs are not for us to be afraid of anything. They are for us to prepare ourselves. You are watching this video right now. You have time to prepare yourself. Go into the ark that is Jesus Christ, and save yourself from the flood. Don't be like the people of Noah's generation. You have time to prepare yourself. Jesus gave you these signs to look out for. They are for us to tell the world that time is short and that the Lord is coming. It is also to remind ourselves constantly that Christ is coming soon. False prophets will come. They will try to deceive you, but by the power of God, you will overcome them.
Emphatically, Jesus told us before his departure on earth that at the end of the age, we will experience some signs that will cause us to know that his second coming is near. No one knows the time and the season of his coming, including Jesus himself. But one thing he assured us about are the signs that will occur prior to his second coming. Jesus has given us signs leading to his coming, and as the time gets closer and closer, they become more and more apparent. Matthew 24, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Jesus is giving the disciples the signs that shall precede his coming again. One of the signs will be the abounding iniquity. As we look around our world today, surely we see iniquity abounding. We don't even have to look far. Just look at the little piece of electrical equipment you have in your pockets. Sin has become so accessible. Iniquity has become so accessible. 1 click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks, and you have access to all sorts of immoral videos. 100 years ago, this would not be possible. We used to have laws that protected us from much of the iniquity that is filling our land today. But one by one, these laws have been struck down by the Supreme Court. In order for us to truly understand what Jesus means in Matthew 24:13 with the term abounding iniquity in the last days, we need to go back to the beginning, the book of Genesis. Jesus refers to the days of Noah in Matthew 24:37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Let us look at the abounding iniquity of the days in which Noah lived. Genesis 6:5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Genesis 6:11 through 13. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, The end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with this earth. What Jesus was referring to in Matthew 24:12 is literally lawlessness, opposing the law. The law he is referring to is the law of God. The word iniquity, there, because iniquity shall abound, is literally no law, or without law, or against the law. The law here, of course, is God's law, and Jesus is speaking of the days when the laws of God will be thrown out. They will be disregarded. They will no longer be required. The laws of God will be labeled as out of date, but this word lawless is a very unique word. Now I want you to think who in the Bible is called the man of lawlessness, the man of sin, the lawless one. This is the Antichrist. 2 Thessalonians 2:1-7. Concerning the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and our being gathered to him, we ask you, brothers and sisters, not to become easily unsettled or alarmed by the teaching allegedly from us, whether by a prophecy or by word of mouth or by letter, asserting that the day of the Lord has already come. Don't let anyone deceive you in any way, for that day will not come until the rebellion occurs and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the man doomed to destruction. He will oppose and will exalt himself over everything that is called God or is worshipped, so that he sets himself up in God's temple, proclaiming himself to be God. Don't you remember when I was with you, I used to tell you these things? And now you know what is holding him back, so that he may be revealed at the proper time. For the secret power of lawlessness is already at work. Wait a minute. Did you hear what the Bible said in verse 7? For the secret power of lawlessness is already at work. The secret power of the Antichrist is already working. His spirit is already at work on this day now, but the embodiment, the person, has not yet been revealed to us. The King James Version of 2 Thessalonians 2:7 refers to the secret power of lawlessness as the mystery of iniquity. This mystery of lawlessness is already working. As we know, the Antichrist will do everything he can to oppose God and to obtain the worship of people for himself. Although he has not yet taken center stage on this world, his spirit is at work in the world. And bit by bit, day by day, you can see the world moving away from the laws of God and closer to the laws of the lawless one.